If we take a look at the total assets under management of ESGU ETF, which is BlackRock's sustainable investing fund, we can see that it has ballooned from about 1.5 billion in early January 2020 to 2 years later, now January 6, 2022, almost $26 billion. This is huge, and this might make you think, wow, there's a lot of interest in sustainable investing. And again, the news media kind of perpetuates this with articles like this on Yahoo, titled simply, "The Growth of Sustainable Investing." But if we take a look at things a little bit deeper, we'll find something interesting. And that is on January 13th, 2020, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, decided that he would put this fund, ESGU, into the BlackRock model portfolios. Now, the BlackRock model portfolios are portfolios that advisors can use to kind of systematically, or I don't want to say systematically, but simply put their clients into them. So they'll give their client a questionnaire, or more so than not, probably interview them, and then put them into one of these model portfolios, and they really don't have any input over what is in the model portfolio. And BlackRock saying, hey, we're going to allocate a percentage of this to ESGU. And for ESGU, they're probably using this in place of exposure to the S&P 500. So let's take a look at this here. Why would BlackRock be doing that? Why would they say, hey, we're just going to kind of push everybody into ESGU? And before I get into that, we can clearly see here from January 13th onward, this is when the growth really started, right? This fund was around since 2019, middle Q3, Q4 of 2019. And it existed for about a year with really nothing happening until they decided that they were going to start automatically putting clients into this fund, right? So why would they do that? Well, let's look at the fees here and see why. On the iShares ESGU ETF, we can see that the expense ratio is 0.15%, right? 15 basis points. So it's not bad, but let's compare that to their S&P 500 fund IVV. This is the iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, 0.03% expense ratio, so 3 bips. So what we could say is that they are charging 5 times more for this ESGU ETF. Now, on a portfolio of $100 billion, that 12 basis point difference is the difference between having $150 million in revenue with ESGU if they have $100 billion in AUM on it, right? Versus 30 million in revenue. So you can see the revenue difference there is huge. Now, to the average investor, the average consumer, this little difference of basis points, 0.03 to 0.15%, 3 bips to 15 bips, doesn't really seem like much, but to BlackRock, that is millions and millions and millions of dollars in revenue. Now let's take a look at the portfolios here. This is where things get interesting. I'm going to read the top 10 holdings of IVV and then the top 10 holdings of ESGU, and you tell me if you see a difference. So let's take a look at this. All right, top 10 holdings of IVV, S&P 500, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan. All right, now the top 10 holdings of ESGU. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Alphabet, Nvidia, Facebook, JP Morgan, Home Depot. It is damn near the same thing. Literally damn near the same thing. Basically, what they're giving you with ESGU is basically the S&P 500 in drag. I mean, it is damn near the same thing. And we can take a look at Morningstar sustainability scores. I'm not too familiar with these because I don't really get into sustainable investing. We can see a 20.97 with ESGU. And that's on corporate sustainability. I don't know what all these other things are here. Ooh, let's look at the pillars. 3.55, 9.73, 7.35. And here it is, 3.70, 10.07, 7.57. So basically it's scoring the same thing, right? It is, or they're giving it the same rating on sustainability, yet they're charging 5 times more in expenses for the fund. That's why the fund, or not the fund world, but the financial services world and investment advisory services love this sustainable investing stuff, because they can charge more fees for it. So what do you guys think on ESGU versus S&P 500? My thought, ESGU is just the S&P 500 in drag.